actually going to be on YouTube. Oh,
We do it live. Woo!
You thought you're just gonna get to talk to your friends, not live.
I figured
Of
you're
course,
going to
we're going to
record it and
be
put it
on
on later.
YouTube. Where else would we be doing a tribute show to one of the greatest drummers that's ever lived? It doesn't make sense to do it anywhere else, in my opinion.
Well, I didn't know we were going live. My bad, dude. Hold on. All right, now I'm ready.
Prophet's busy jerking off right there in front of the camera. He's like, "Oh shit, people just saw me."
Like, wait,
Shit.
put these bad boys away.
That's awesome. We love you, Prophet. All right. Well, so it's Wednesday, a very unusual day for us to be doing a show. I was on my way to work this morning. It's about 6 o'clock my time. We're on our way to a heavy slash site doing some emergency transmission line clearing, and we knew it was going to be hard to slash. I'm loading up the songs onto my on my phone from Spotify, and I'm throwing some fucking Slipknot on there because I'm rebuilding my metal playlist. I had a YouTube music account, and now I'm on Spotify, so all my old playlists got to be rebuilt, and I'm doing that. And I'm doing Slipknot, and I'm looking at Murder Dolls, and I'm throwing a little bit of them on my playlist. And then at about 7 o'clock, an hour later, I get a text message from Fluffy here saying Joey Jordison died last night. What the fuck? So wow. I know Slipknot has done a lot for myself. Changed my life in a lot of ways. And in terms of kind of more modern era drummers, I personally would look at Joey Jordison as one of my top two favorite drummers from the more modern area, alongside Anders Herrick from Chimera. And so we had to do a show to tribute Joey Jordison. Rest in peace, Joey. Fluff, you got anything you want to add off the bat there, brother?
No, that was it. You know, they're one of my just top. They were so interesting when they came out, and you know, they were so just hardcore. And you know, I saw them live before I even knew who the hell they were. Like, they were just a frontliner at some show, and just watching them jump around like a bunch of fucking maniacs on stage. I mean, just like, dude, they were taking each other out on the stage. I mean, it was a small mosh pit on the stage while they're playing their own damn music. And I'm just like, this band's fucking amazing. Like, I need this in my life. So, you know, they become kind of like my go-to when I really need a fucking amp up, when shit in my life's a little bit off, man. They always kind of center me. And you know, it's the intensity of that music's awesome.
See, and I have to agree with you, man. Like, when that album came out, they weren't too known, but I came across it, and I don't know, it was definitely probably a lot of what I was going through at that moment. That album came out, helped me get through. It was just like high school. Far Beyond Driven helped me get through fucking high school. Okay, that that first Slipknot album helped me get through probably like 5 from 20 something to fucking 30, like, if it wasn't for that even first album. And actually, my bad, let me correct myself. That album came out, I did search on Napster shit, and I came across they actually had an album before, which was called Mate Kill Feed Repeat, I believe it was. Feed Mate Kill Repeat. That was their actual first album, and I didn't find out about that album until the second album came out, thinking it was the fucking first album. Mate, Feed, Kill, Repeat. That's what it was.
Yeah, and that one was actually super interesting because some of their popular songs were on there in a way that you will never hear them again, and you would not even know it was the same band. Like, it was a very different
rough
band.
Now, they had a different singer on that album, didn't they? I believe it was
so.
Anders Kolesfini or something to that effect.
See, the thing that got me with Slipknot when I first realized how many members there were was how in tune that many fucking people. When you don't just have a drummer, you have drummer, a percussionist, you have all these different types of different rhythms going, and so many people, and one person could fuck it up, but I mean, they were just always in tune. Even when like they started getting into their whole fucking headbanging and moving, like, everybody was in tune, and it was pretty epic to watch, like you said, Fluff.
Yeah, you have a band that you have an asshole running around with a fucking sledgehammer, a fucking, a keg in a grinder, and somehow making that fit into the music like it's an
Yep.
instrument. Wow, fucking taking out the guy on the keyboard. It's like, what the fuck is happening right now?
It's the last show I saw.
I've
It's
never
been a
had
while.
the pleasure of seeing them live, but when you think about their music and all the chaos going on in their music, just everything going on in there, and then I've seen plenty of videos of their live shows. I've owned a couple of their DVDs over the years. I just think it personifies kind of teenage angst, right? You know, being a pissed off teenager and just fucking, you just want to get that shit out of you. And, I think Slipknot really, I don't know, personifies that, I guess you could say, through music. It's just, and a lot of people latched onto that.
Yeah, I saw him like 6-7 years ago, and it was a friend of mine that took me. He's big giant guy. I'm a little bitty girl, and I'm like, I want to go mosh. And so all I had to do was just stand there and make sure nobody like kicked me while I was down. And yeah, he actually, my friend passed away last year, so he had a heart attack, left 5 little girls behind. I was like, damn it, dude. Like, everybody's going. What is happening? Are we getting that old?
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
That's exactly what it feels like.
Yeah, I remember the first time I saw them, and I mean, the very first time they were the opening act at an Ozzfest. But it was weird because the first time I saw them, they didn't play on the second stage. They played on the main stage, and the main stage opened at like noon, which was weird. It's not usually how, Ozzfest was running. But these guys come out, and by 12:15, there was already 3 motherfuckers who had been, taken out of the pit on a stretcher. I mean, it was the most intense pit I've ever seen in ever. It was a noon, it was the opening band for the beginning of the concert, and no one even knew who the fuck they were. But man, the second, like 6 started, you just hear that da 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 da. You hear all that shit go, and everybody just fucking rushed to the stage. Everybody wanted to see what the hell was happening. And it was just fucking utter chaos, man. And that's just what they bring, and it was amazing. And it was amazing that it was Joey who put a lot of his heart and soul into Slipknot. Him and Paul were kind of the driving force behind Slipknot. And after Paul died and Joey had his first bout of health problems, the band kind of never really came back together. Got a little weird, but there was just something about it. Even with change of some members and some things going, it still has a little bit of that Slipknot vibe that it's still got that angst. It's still got that rebellion and that anger. So.
Well, they had actually, I believe, if I remember right, complications within the band making Iowa, and that actually, that's a pretty good album. But I mean, as the albums progressed, I think they kind of fell back a little bit. But I mean, like you said, things are obviously going on and changing up with people. I remember the clown being pissed off about a lot of shit. I remember reading about that, the clown from Slipknot, da da da.
Well, one of the awesome things, I don't remember what video it was. I think it may have been the Iowa video, or it was the People Equal Shit video, where it's just a bunch of people tearing the fuck out of a house with Slipknot playing around them. Okay. I was actually at that. That was fucking cool because that was an open call. Like Slipknot, for their fans, they put out an open call. They said, hey, we're going to shoot a video. We just want you to come fucking here and have a good time. And then you got there and Slipknot's sitting there and it's just a fucking crowd of people just ready to get stupid at a house party that Slipknot's fucking playing at. It was fucking intense. That's
amazing.
And I've looked around and I still can't find myself in that damn video.
That is awesome.
We're going to have to watch that shit one day, like on slow-mo. Click, 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 click.
One day. I'm going to do that after this. I will find
I've tried like hell to find myself in there. I can't find
Yeah, you got to find a large white man with a beard. Good luck.
Oh, yeah.
That's picking a needle out of a fucking haystack in a Slipknot fucking video.
Is that the video for first single off the third album? The name of it escapes me at the moment.
Yeah, it was like I said. I think it was either Iowa or People Equal
Holy
Shit.
shit.
I think it was people. I mean, I could look it up right now.
Google.
Yeah, no, that was so. But that
That
was
video
like the
was
cool shit that they did. You know, they fucking put that shit out there, and they said, "Hey, come on, let's have some fun." And they, dude, it was fucking intense.
Mhm.
Cool. When did he get so cool?
I mean, obviously he's always been this cool. We just didn't know about it.
Clearly.
I was young once. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was young and not broken and into all kinds of cool shit. So.
Dude, I get the young and not broken thing. I remember the last time I was in a mosh pit was a Cryptopsy show about 5 years ago, I think. And it's just at the Generator up in Prince George, a little bar. There's maybe fucking 80 people there, and there's about 7 of them in the mosh pit, and they're not even pitting hard. I go in there and I get hit from behind, not hard. I felt my back go. I was just like, oh shit, I guess I'm done. And then so after that show, I drove 4 hours home. So I slept in my own bed because, well, that's just better. And the next day I had to drive 11 hours to pick up a buddy for work and then drive 11 hours back to homeward ways. And my back is just fucked. And these are 2 days of just...
But that car ride was awesome.
Yeah, I wish I could say so, but no. Oh my God. That's like where you learn to love shit like cruise control, so you can at least kind of
move around,
kind of shift and get comfy.
Last mosh pit, with my Slipknot mosh pit, like it had rained the day before, and like the grass was still slick, and it was an outdoor amphitheater, so like the mosh pit was like in the back in the wet grass, and I just kept like slipping and falling, and everybody's like pretty cool about it, like they like pick you up because I'm so tiny. So they like just scoop me up like it was nothing and then let me play around some more.
Well, yeah, that's proper pit etiquette. You got to have proper etiquette.
And like I slipped this one time and I went to like stand myself up and this guy decks me in the face. I was like, you just punched. No, we're not done yet. And the song ends and everybody's like, you know, I was like, I pointed at him across the thing, and
I was gonna say the same thing, but I was just like, I'm gonna let it go.
It was so much fun
because that's the only place you can get away with it.
Yes, you can only get away with it there. But when the pit's like when the next song starts and everybody's like getting riled up again, yeah, having a 7-foot tall chef with me covered in tattoos was awesome. You like just picked him up off the ground, like by his shoulder, and was like, apologize.
I can't find the video actually, which is weird. Iowa or even the other one. Well, I found the videos, but they weren't anything of a house party. Like,
so look at
Left Behind was out in the woods.
Look for the first single off the Subliminal Verses album, and you're gonna find out that I know what I'm talking about. I'm willing to bet. I can't remember the name of the song. It's like, you know, I push my fingers.
Chat's saying duality.
Duality, yes.
That's duality.
Yes.
Is that not
yes. That's the one.
Windows?
Oh, I fucking love that song too. How did I not know that? I even like the remake by Leo, the Leo guy, dude. It's so awesome. He's got a banjo and a fucking everything else going, dude. It's amazing.
Who's this? I'm
Leo fucking. Hold on. He's Leapfrog Studios.
Leapfrog Studios.
He fucking
Leo Moracholi.
Thank you. I can never pronounce the last name.
His little girl is so cute.
Yeah.
I love when she's in the videos.
He does covers of just awesome. He's awesome.
Yeah. From everything, dude.
Him, he does everything.
Everything.
Fucking amazing.
Every cover is heavy metal. Like play that funky music. He did fucking.
It's not metal.
Our House.
It's all metal. Our House, fucking
awesome.
the remake of Toto's Africa is so much better than the original.
His Britney Spears Hit Me Baby One More Time.
Yes.
Is magical.
Yeah, the Michael Jackson.
Okay, so speaking of like Britney Spears covers, Children of Bodom, Alexi Leho, he passed away at the end of the last year, and their cover of Oops, I Did It Again was fucking really good, man. I don't care what anybody says. That was fucking fire.
Bro, I love those kind of covers.
I think I like Richard Cheese's cover of People Equal Shit.
You're talking my language now. I love Richard Cheese. That dude is just fucking. I mean, I bet he is awesome to hang out with.
I love
Richard Cheese. Money. Like
I want his babies.
Like, all right, I would probably get married again if I could afford to have him play at my fucking wedding reception. You know what I mean? That would be just
Oh fuck yeah!
because
I
he
bet you
does
could get him
weddings.
cheap.
No, you can't. Yeah, he's high. You can hire him for sure, 100%.
No way, dude. What I would do is it'd probably be the only time you'll ever see me in a suit and tie, as I'd book some cheesy ass lounge party for all my stoner buddies, but you got to wear a suit and tie because it's Richard Cheese playing. It's like
Right.
you think of bands or not necessarily bands, but people do that like just like really wicked covers of songs, but like in an obscure way, and they like Hayseed Dixie deserves an honorable mention, but they're a little like their cover of Gin and Juice is fucking phenomenal. But at the same time, with them, I find I've really got to be in the mood to listen to it because their shit gets old
It's
fast
so
with the
twangy.
twang on the banjos. Whereas Richard Cheese, I can actually listen to that for like at least a full album without being okay. Let's change it.
I think what Richard Cheese has going for him is like the fucking diversity in songs he covers. You know what I mean? Like he's got Two Live Crew, and then he's got fucking Slipknot, and then he has
And
fucking
this
yeah,
and the
like back
style
to
at
back.
which he does them.
Yeah,
You know,
they're
and the
like
style at
so
which he does them.
all
Where
over
Hayseed Dixie, it's all
the same.
super twangy, super. You know, they're bringing that fucking that twang
Inbred.
to it.
They're
I
bringing
give him
the
credit
inbred.
for the name, man. I gotta give him credit for the name.
You guys
Oh,
like
it's great.
Iron Horse? Fucking bluegrass cover band that covers like Metallica and Guns N' Roses and all that.
Okay.
Never heard of him.
Check
I've
it
never
out.
heard of.
It's pretty cool.
Hmm.
You know,
It
I
makes
was
me
just going.
like Metallica more even because I
You know, coming on to this conversation now, and now it brought me up into something else, which led me back to Slipknot actually, which is funny
Good.
because I was just thinking about all that, and I don't know why it made me think of Static X, but so at one time I got to see Static X. Oh, because I was thinking about Dope's covers. I fucking love Dope, man. Them dudes do some sick fucking covers.
Yeah,
you
Like
know,
they do
Oh,
not get credit.
music, right?
But then, you know, thinking about that led me to Static X. So I saw Static X and Slipknot together once, and this was in an indoor arena in Peoria, Illinois, and it was in the indoor ice arena. And so when we got there, man, it was great. You know, they were checking everybody. Like you couldn't have any of those like beaded necklaces because motherfuckers were making like weird shit to shoot them and fucking because people were getting crazy. So everybody just got searched. You know, they were making sure everything was safe. By the end of that show, they had literally pulled the floorboards off of the ice. The mosh pit was still on the ice. People were fucking surfing, standing up surfing on the fucking floor panels. And I mean, it was just, I bet it was one of the most intensely fucking just intense indoor concerts I've ever been to. And fucking, it was goddamn Slipknot again, every fucking time.
It's so funny you say that because like I bought when I was like in 6th grade, I fucking got whatever. I went and bought this Slipknot CD, right? And it was so cool. It was so cool. It was like it made me just want to be a fucking professional wrestler and just fuck shit up. Like I'm just gonna beat people with chairs, fuck your day up, right? And so then I go and I'm hanging out with this kid, and I'm like, I just got the Slipknot CD, and he's like, oh, you got a Slipknot CD? Here, you need this, and he gave me a Static X CD because because I told him I had a Slipknot CD. He's like, well, you need this then, and I had never heard it before, and I didn't like it as much as Slipknot, but. Some of the songs were all right.
I had Wisconsin Death Trip before I'd ever even heard of Slipknot, but you're right, man. It's like Static X was good, or at least their first album I liked. I kind of lost them after their second album. Like their second album to me was good, Static X, but I stopped following them after that. I just didn't care for the direction. But anyways, you got like a good new metalish band, you know, that techie style to it. It was really fucking neat. And then you got like Slipknot. That's just like, you know, that first album wasn't totally heavy, right? Like a lot of the shit of theirs that we know. Remember, there was like a really weird album, like with you could really tell that they had the DJ was really present in all the sampling and all these weird neat noises and parts that were going on there, right? It's kind of, oh wow, but it had more balls to it at the same time. It was like when Corey Taylor starts going. And I remember the day that Iowa came out. I had moved back home with my parents just like a few months prior so I could get off of opiates. and need a place to live. I remember like I was a big Hit Parader, Metal Edge, Revolver magazine, all those magazines. I'd buy them all pretty well monthly. So I knew damn well when this CD was coming out. And the music store was about a half-hour drive into town, and I wasn't going to walk that far. And so I get my dad, somehow I managed to scam him into taking me down there. It was like I told him I had to go to the bank or something stupid like that. But he was adamant that you'd better damn well not be buying that freaking CD while you're in there. They're going to the fucking music store or something like that. It was like, but like, fuck that. The Slipknot album's out. And I remember some of you might have remembered mentioned back in like the end of my teenage years, early 20s, we used to hang out in a churchyard on the Hart Highway in Prince George. The people at the church were cool with us hanging out. We'd skateboard there or do whatever, just hang out, smoke weed, drink. And as long as we cleaned up after ourselves, they really didn't really care. And I remember like our buddy Jonesy, when he found out that I had the new Slipknot album, he's he grabbed it and he's like went to the first car that he could find, put it in the car stereo, and he sat there looking through the liner notes and listened to that whole album while we're all listening to the new Slipknot album for the first time. And that one to me is like they're two very different styles of music, but like when the second album came out and it was just like so ferocious in comparison to the insanity of the first one, it was like, yes, like this is my shit right here. I just yeah, I'll never forget. That's why very kind of a life-changing, groundbreaking album for me. Then the flip side to that is I also went and bought Subliminal Verses the day it came out. And to me, that is probably the biggest letdown I have ever seen in an album, because I think I had like, you see what Slipknot did with the first album, and it was fucking amazing. And then to me, they took Iowa, and it was like, you know, the logical thought of progression was they're going to take Subliminal Verses and just crush Iowa, right? But like, and to be honest, there's only like 2 or 3 songs that I really care for on that album. It's just because, but I think it's one of those things like, when you see it, so like take movies, like a movie that you've heard all about, oh, it's the greatest movie ever. All your friends would see, yeah, it's the greatest movie ever. And then you see it and you're like, meh. And I think that I had done that to the third Slipknot album because I was just like, had it so built up mentally. I go back and listen to it now, and it's honestly, I think I'd rather if it was just an instrumental album, is my personal thoughts to that. But then when they came back with their fourth album, you know, the album opens up with that Gematria song, well, the second song on it, but they always do their intros. But then you're just like, oh, fuck yeah, Slipknot's back. And I was like, you know, there's some heavy fucking throwdown shit on that album.
Yeah, you know, I may have been, I don't know if maybe you just call it fanboy or what, but I may have just, I really loved what they did in Subliminal Verses with just a total different style. You know, when they brought some of that 80s powered ballad fucking style to the fucking Slipknot universe, man, I ain't gonna lie, man, I was kind of down with it.
See, to me, I think it was just like, I think I was, to me, it was just one of those metal elitists, I maybe you want to call it, where it's just, I liked my music hard and heavy. Corey Taylor had Stone Sour to do his toned down music, right? I was one of those guys saying that, let's be honest, right? But now that with everything, with Joey passing, and knowing I've got one hell of a day of slashing ahead of me tomorrow and the following day, I think I'm going to have to go back and just do like a full-on Slipknot playlist and just go back and listen to this. Man, you got the headphones in all day long, just listening, cutting.
And I mean, come on, if you're in a fast-paced job, that is some music that'll get you fucking right in a hurry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Even their slow songs are still going to have that driving beat to it, right? So...
Yeah, and you know, I just saw it in chat too. Absolutely, you know, much respect over to ZZ Top too. You know, sending out good vibes for them. You know, they lost one of theirs too. So,
yep. Rest in peace, Dusty Hill.
Yeah.
And Biz Markie.
Yeah, we lost Biz Markie last week. Here's one I'm gonna throw out there that I wish I could play it, but we'd end up getting a fucking strike or something. You know what? Biz Markie did a cover of Benny and the Jets by Elton John.
It's super good, actually.
Yeah, it is. But the funny thing about it, it is so bad that it's amazing. It is how, like, because he's not a great singer by any stretch of the imagination. And, you know, he even tries to do the part where it's like he read it in the magazine, you know, but his voice just cracks and kind of falls apart, but it absolutely works. So I would say go check that out. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I accidentally stumbled onto that once, and I mean, I bet you I listened to it 5 times in a row. It was so bad, and just it was amazing. Like, you just can't stop. That is complete and utter train wreck right there. You know, you just can't stop looking.
Yeah, I usually have it on some playlist of some sorts on every device ever since the streaming and downloading became a thing. And that was just a night of, I remember doing security at a freight warehouse I used to work at, and just sitting there in front of the computer, just looking for weird, dumb music videos that, you know, oh, hey, I remember this one, clicking on that. And then you know how it just sends you, oh, maybe you'll like this one when you're YouTube, and did that. And it was a great find.
Just to tell Rick, no, getting the Static X CD was not more exciting than fucking seeing Donny Osmond and having point and wave. That's silly. Come on now. You should know the answer to that. We all saw that picture. You and Donny Osmond are like this.
Right.
I had to laugh when you said you got that Slipknot CD in 6th grade, man. Like,
yeah, how old are you, man? Because I'm pretty sure I was like 18 when that came out.
I'm like, I don't know, 33.
I was gonna say, we discussed this before.
Yeah.
I know he's
Yeah,
younger than me.
Yeah.
I was
all my siblings have always been into music, so like I was listening to whatever they were listening to. You know what I'm saying? And like whatever they were listening, like the same radio stations and what have you. So once they left the house, I was still listening to that same radio station. So whatever got played next, you know, like whatever the next thing was, and that's what it was. And I just went right to it.
same here until I met my friend Sean when I was like 13, and he introduced me to death metal and black metal and satanic metal, you know, Carcass, Obituary, fucking Morbid Angel, and then I ran with that for a while.
Yeah. Yeah,
And then I
so
started eating acid and listened to a lot of Floyd, man.
there you go.
Like, then I realized I truly am obsessed with Pink Floyd. I think they're one of my all-time favorite bands.
Yeah, that's not a bad choice.
that's insane.
I like their old shit, man. Like before Dark Side. I mean, that's still good. The Wall's good, but like Obscured by Clouds, Medley, freaking all those ones prior, Piper at the Gates of Dawn. That's a good one, especially if you're kind of like out there at the moment. But you know, I was back when Sid Barrett was there.
It was pretty exciting.
Oh, bro. I mean, when you get back in the Sid Barrett days, I mean, it's like most people wouldn't even recognize it as Pink Floyd anymore. You know. But I mean, personally, for me, when you start getting into the Animals albums is when it's just absolute. I mean, you just sit down, get your mind right, and put on Animals and go for a ride, man. That's what that's all about.
Yeah, buddy.
See, that's how I feel about Obscured.
Any of them are good, man. I like to, I don't know. See, it's funny because I fucking love Pink Floyd also, but I try my hardest to listen to them as little as possible. Right? Like
because you don't want to ruin it for yourself.
Exactly. Like at this point, it's like, wait, I can't spoil this for, you know, for the right time. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I got a little bit of it in through all of my playlists. I mean, my playlists are pretty mixed anyway. They're like absolute madness.
He was listening to Alan Jackson, and then he was singing Twisted, and I was like, what the fuck just happened? While he was making breakfast or something.
Just bounce around, man.
The Osmonds, man. He's a little bit country, and he's a little bit rock and roll.
I had my bop going for a little while too, but you missed that.
Oh, Hanson.
That's funny. We put together a car ride playlist because in our house now there's got a bunch of people into a bunch of different music, so we're kind of putting together a cheesy pop music playlist that kind of I can really get into the cheesy 80s, 90s music. I struggle with a lot of the more modern stuff, but yeah, shit like Bop and Spice Girls gets thrown on there.
You know, it cracked me up, the Bop one. You know, I live in a small country town where, you know, a lot of people look at Hanson. No, not going to be a thing, you know, where I'm at. And, you know, in the bars nowadays, you can play music from just about anywhere, right? At a bar. Like I can be at my house and play music at the bar. So I have definitely dropped, you know, $20 and played nothing but Bop all night at a local bar just to fucking piss everybody off.
No, that's kind of messed up, man.
Oh, that's awesome.
If I knew that was a possibility, yes, I would have absolutely have tried that by now.
Oh yeah, it's the touch tunes things, man. As long as you got an internet, it'll tell you where you can, what jukeboxes you can connect to.
That's great. I love it. I got to try this out sometime because that kind of shit is just right up my alley. Just because I'm one of those, like, for me, so like techno dance music, it does that to me where it just drives me fucking nuts. I for whatever it is, it all sounds the same. It's called that, and it has that stupid like wow 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 in the middle of it. Every song sounds exactly the same to me. Just and it agitates me and just so. I understand how heavy metal and other music, like I get it, how it's not for everybody. And I'm fine. I like it how it's not for everybody. It's more exclusive for me and my friends. But so I fully understand how something like a ridiculous pop song or like a heavy metal song could just fucking people sitting there in the bar and all of a sudden, for fuck's sakes, I'm out of here. Because that would be me if Bop came on 30 times in a row.
See, I'm not. I don't really care for raver music, but I have to say I am a Prodigy fan, and I kind of mix them in the like. It's tough to put them in a category.
Kind of a weird dubsteppy, wubby, like they're so technical. You're techno industrial that it's techno industrial. Like
there you go. That's good.
Electronic a little bit.
They're more like Ministry. Really?
I love Ministry, man. I was thinking of Fear Factory too, actually. That was another one.
Oh, dude, Fear Factory gets down, dude. Them. Dude, they're a fucking great live show.
I just put them on my playlist this morning too as I was loading stuff up.
That whole album, Demanufactured, is just epic.
And we were talking about covers earlier, man. Their cover of In Cars, fucking love it.
Yes. Yep. I forgot they did that. Here in your car. Yeah, that shit was awesome.
I remember so the first Fear Factory song I ever heard, was it was the cover of Cars, but once again, this is one of those where you have it built up, you want to hear something heavy, and it wasn't. I don't know if any of you guys ever heard it. It was a compilation CD called Hard that you could buy back in the day. And it had like Living Dead Girl by Rob Zombie and a few other songs from roughly that era on it. And I was like, oh, finally I get to hear a Fear Factory song because it's on this. And it's Gary Newman. I was just like, fuck, once again, I was just so pissed off because, you know, like it didn't have access to music like you do now where you can just go on Spotify or YouTube and check out any song you want, right? So there's some bands that you wanted to hear for years before you got a chance to listen to them because your friends didn't listen to them and you didn't have money for that CD. Or if you go to the CD store and you did have money, they didn't have that band or just whatever the reason is.
That was always the plague. It's like, oh, because you always were into some obscure fucking like metal band. Oh, do you have, you know, like, no, we don't have At the Gates. Fuck.
Once I figured out I could actually order CDs and they would more often than not, they were actually able to get them in for me. That was a real eye opener. But still, like for like a little broke ass kid that didn't have money, that sucked having to pay $25-27 a CD, which is what it usually was.
Columbia House, baby. You had to buff up the old fucking CD collection real quick.
Yeah, BMG was another one. I remember doing them. But that's where actually BMG's where I got my first Limp Bizkit CD was the $3 bill just before that third Korn album came out. So actually I knew about them before a lot of people in our area did.
Like, you're talking about Limp Bizkit?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually I came across their album for a lot of people, along with the
I feel like you would have, Prophet.
System of a Down too, man. I had the album before anybody even heard of it over here. It just got given to me, and I held on to it for a couple of weeks, and then one day I fucking put it in, and I was like, "What the fuck? I've been holding on to this CD for like, who the fuck are these people?" And then a couple of months go by, and I start seeing people wearing System of a Down, hoodies and shit, and I'm like, "Oh,
Do you
you
remember
guys are
the
just catching
old?
up."
They used to have like a fucking System of a Down infomercial for that first album that was like on late at night, like on fucking
Yep.
MTV, VH1, shit like that.
No, I don't remember
I loved it. Yeah, it's out there. I know
You
it.
could probably
But yeah,
YouTube it.
it was just
I
like a
remember
commercial, like a 90-second commercial. Yeah, and it just was,
they used to do it on Headbangers Ball. Like they
yeah.
used to have the commercial for it back then.
Yeah, but see, we didn't get stuff like that up here, at least not on our channels that we had. It's like, because we had like Much Music, same kind of thing as MTV, but the Canadian version, and it played mostly pop music. By the time I hit high school, I was very rare that I would watch it anymore because it wasn't worth watching, in my opinion. And then we had an hour-long metal show called Loud, which was pretty cool, the equivalent of a Headbangers Ball. But I think I didn't get into watching that until like, I don't know, before or after System of a Down. It would probably before. I think when I moved out on my own, spent my money on drugs instead of cable. Kind of seems like a more likely lifestyle choice in those years.
Yeah.
I was trying to think, man. I think like my first System of a Down, my first Korn album, I think it all got repoed once when the Rent-A-Center man came and took my 100, disc CD changer that I had all my BMG CDs in. I didn't pay for shit back in the day. Man, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, dude, and those Rent-A-Center motherfuckers, boy, they were just shady. They kicked my door in to fucking repo my shit.
They're
I was
taking
like, what the
they're
fuck?
taking their shit.
The horror stories of Red-A-Center. I've heard many.
They are taking their shit back.
Dude, I am so glad I grew up and I don't buy shit from Rent-A-Center anymore because fuck.
I never did. I wasn't that stupid. I'm like, why would I pay 3 times more?
Because I
Nice
had
to
an
have
awesome couch that was way too big for my living room, a
You
fucking
want it
100
now.
disc fucking changer, and all the hoes wanted to fucking hang out in my living room. All right.
I don't like owing money, man.
Sounds legit.
I mean, I have this thing. I don't like owing money.
I'm with you on that one, Prophet, but it seems like freaking nobody seems to make enough money to afford all these fancy things. So fortunately, you get back places like Rent-A-Center that get to take advantage of people. Another one I hate is like places like Money Mart and like payday cash advance places. Like I remember getting hooked into that cycle in I don't know, early 20s, whenever the hell it was. And it was just, fuck that. So those things should damn near be illegal. That's like almost an impossible cycle to break.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But like I said, that's one of those things. It's good to grow up and get out of those cycles because that's bad.
G-Bay's got a point in chat. He says, but hoes though.
But hoes,
You gotta work your swagger without any type of like tools, man. The only tool you need is the one that you were given. You don't need a fancy TV or a couch that's too big for your living room. I mean, hey baby, want to come sit on my couch?
Some
Hey, do you
bitches
see this? I don't have fucking swagger.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey man, neither do I. You just gotta fake it till you make it, or at least get in.
Hey, we heard.
I don't have that ability.
We don't need to.
Have you ever heard me talk on this show? I say stupid shit constantly. Chicks don't dig that. So and every female that's watching is like, yeah, he's got a point. It took me a long time to find a woman that was willing to put up with me. It was like definitely one of those beggars can't be choosers kind of things.
You're so funny thinking there's a female in this crowd tonight. We just put up a show saying it was an emergency metal show. Yeah, there's no females signed into this. They were like, what the fuck? Even Painted Lady was like, nah, that's going to be a sausage fest. Fuck that.
Well, wait, is Dave in the chat?
Oh, see, yeah.
Yeah, Dave's in chat.
Okay, then there's at least one female watching.
Yeah, David is here.
Dave is here now. It's okay, Dave. We love you in the butt.
Yeah, baby, we do love you.
I love them in the front too.
And no, you can't leave the plastic on that couch. Shit.
But it stays nice that way.
Yeah, but they were gonna come repo it anyway because I wasn't paying for it, so
That's
they can
true.
clean it
Well,
afterwards.
See,
I
what you
always
got to
like-
do there is find a chick that's a squirter and just fuck the
I was
shit
thinking that.
all over every inch of that couch. So it
There you
just
go.
smells funky when they put it in the back of that truck.
There you go.
See, I mean, you got to kind of think of your time frames. You know, back in the day when you were young and you were trying to screw Rent-A-Center, you had to like pay a week and then skip like 3 days and then get that payment in because on fucking day 5 they're coming to get their shit. So
See-
you had to be slick about it, and you had to know when it was going back because
Guys,
they were coming to get it.
the way you had to do it and get away with it, all right, was that you had to be moving, and you go get something like the month before you move, you pay that month off, you move, and you don't tell shit. That's exactly how that worked. I've seen it
Yeah, I
so
should've thought
many
about that.
fucking times, dude. I was just like, motherfucker, because I'd walk into my boy's house and he'd have, a nice ass fucking TV, and it's like, yeah, you just screwed over Rent-A-Center. That was good job.
You just
Fucking
wait for the
dick.
Rent-A-Center, the RAC truck to drive away, and then you call your buddy, get him on the horn. All right, back the truck up.
You got the U-Haul right around the
We're
back,
taking- we're
just like.
taking it over. Yeah, we're bringing it over.
But no, I've seen it done
have
so
heard
many
of some
times,
ghetto
man.
people doing some funny shit.
You know how many PlayStation 3s when they came out fucking went that route? Oh my
Dude,
god.
we had one from Rent-A-Center at that time. Like people I was living with. That's so funny because yeah, dude, that's the only way we got that shit too. We were stoked on it. We're like, yeah,
Right, because dude, I was an 18-year-old kid at the time, moved out, had a kid, and so I had no money. The only way you was going to get nice shit is if you weren't paying for it. So fuck it. I had me a nice couch for about 3 months, and then they came and got it.
Is it like a little bit shameful when your neighbors see Rent-A-Center pulling the shit out?
Oh hell, man! If you'd have seen the train wreck I was back then, they wouldn't have been surprised one bit.
Nice.
yeah. Right. I guess it depends on how you are all the rest of the time for them to be surprised or not.
So what do y'all
I mean-
figure? Should we do a dab for Joey?
Dab for Joey. I think we shall.
Seems like a really good idea to me.
There was one thing about Joey that was always really interesting to me, and it was the fact that everyone has kind of known him for being, the drummer and stuff. But, his real passion was really like playing the fucking guitar. I mean, the dude was an amazing guitarist, man. I mean, that dude had some fucking chops on that guitar. That's why, like, I think in every other cover band that he was in, that's what he plays is guitar. I think the only band that he drummed in that I recall off the top of my head was Slipknot. So,
Someone will correct you in chat if you're wrong.
somebody will absolutely correct me, but
Probably Eric
I'm not-
Taylor. He's a smarty.
yeah, he seems like he's on the shit too. So,
Didn't he do some like really heavy metal band? Like it was like within a year or so of him leaving Slipknot. Wasn't he drumming in that?
He was like a part of like 2 or 3 other bands, according
I
to
want to
what
say it started with a V or something like that. Right.
Yeah. Let's see.
Maybe it started with an M, maybe a V or an M.
I don't know.
I'll just keep going. I'll get it eventually.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not a name person, man. I'm so terrible with that shit. So I'm not gonna be the one to come up with this. But yes, he did. But I don't remember him playing drums. I remember him
Googling
playing
it.
guitar.
Probably did.
Google
I'll tell you what, I've been in anticipation for it. I don't know when it might come out, but has anybody seen Sid or DJ Starscream, his new fucking band that he was kind of setting up called Swollen Teeth?
No, I have
Yes.
actually heard. This is the first I've heard of it. Do you know anything about it?
If I know it is fucking, I've only seen a very small snippet of it. It's going to be kind of like a nod to a Slipknot type thing. Super heavy, kind of industrial, a little bit new metal, a lot of his, DJ work. And I think they were doing like a mass, jumpsuit theme throughout, or that might go by the wayside when it all gets released and stuff. But that was just kind of, I don't know. I've seen stuff on it, but I've not seen any updates lately. I'm fucking waiting. I'm hoping that project comes out, because what I've seen on it looks fucking awesome.
That'd be all right. I want to say Vimic. That might be the name of the band I'm thinking that Joey was doing shortly after, right? But I can't recall if he was drumming or guitar on that. The Murder Dolls, their first album, to me, that was another really great album. I remember sitting there. I mentioned moving back home with mom and dad so I could get off of opiates. And I would sit there downloading music because, I didn't have a job to go to at that time. So I'd sit there in front of the computer, and that was one of the many albums that I'd sat there and downloaded song by song. There's some days where you might get an album or two's worth of songs, depending on how popular they are. There's other days where you'd sit there in front of a computer for 12 hours and maybe get one song. So once again, like, shout out to shit like Spotify, man. And I remember being dead set against stuff like Spotify when I first started hearing about them, like 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago, whenever it was, hearing about it, Jamie Jasta talking about it on his podcast. And because I was always fucked up, man. The artists should be getting paid for their music. They're getting fucked over by the record companies as is, et cetera, et cetera. But then you think about it from the fans' perspective. My CD collection is somewhere between like 800 and 1,000 CDs. You think at about an average of about $20 a pop. That's a lot of fucking money right there. Like I was mentioned earlier in the show, when you've got limited funds and you go into that, it only gives you the opportunity to check out like limited bands and stuff like that. So now it's just fuck yeah, from a fan or consumer's perspective.
Hey,
I'm gonna look at it at the fact that I've probably lost 90% of all the CDs I've ever owned from, going through life and not being able to hold on to CDs because other things were more important than a pile of CDs. Being able to pull up any song that I could possibly think of is pretty fucking awesome personally, because this shit I would never be able to hear ever again, like the Pink Floyd shit I was talking about. I would never be able to hear half the shit I can hear now if it wasn't for shit like that.
Absolutely. But a flip side to that is with CDs and stuff. I got shit from local bands in my collection that you'll never see on Spotify. Right. That I would love to see digitized. I think I've seen a few of them on YouTube. So they're out there on the internet, at least they can be found, but not all of them. It's just, to me, like my music collection, like as I've said before on our usual show, going through high school, my parents lived out in the boondocks, and I didn't have friends out there. So it was like sit down in the basement in my bedroom listening to music. That's what I had. Most of my life was addicted to drugs, and I've always been introverted. Cocaine and introvert. What does that usually spell, right? You're sitting in your house not doing a lot. So once again, listening to music. Now people are always more than willing to come hang out with me.
Oh, you're doing a lot.
He's a busy idiot.
Yeah, you're not doing a lot, but you are doing a lot.
Yeah, and then
making a mess.
But I remember
figuring out all the world's problems.
Like my CD collection could be sitting there like 15 feet away, and people would walk up to it and just pick random CDs, and I'd tell you exactly which fucking album it was. Oh, that System of a Down Toxicity, or that Slayer Hell Awaits is like that's also being introverted and drug addict and having really not much of a life to distract your attention from this little fucking cocoon, right? That's what that is, right? No life outside of that work.
A lot of my collection started as a cassette collection, believe it or not, especially like the heavy metal and the death metal and shit, because they weren't even out in CDs. And fuck, if you could afford a CD at that time. I think it was just a concept that were coming into play.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one too. We just towards the end of tapes started getting harder to find there for like a long time, right? How everything just gets phased out. And then all my tapes got left behind in Prince George when I moved to Williams Lake. So is that what I think I hear?
Yeah, it's a frog.
Frog?
You know, there was one, I think one of my favorite tapes that I ever had was fucking Napalm Death.
Awesome.
Fucking, that was probably my heaviest tape I ever owned was
Dude.
fucking Napalm Death, man. I fucking loved them back in the day.
Dude, the best part about
Still do.
like death metal fucking tapes was open them up and like unfolding them and fucking checking out all the shit that was printed out in it and shit. And I remember Carcass specifically, the dude was fucking a dead body in one of the pictures when you took the tape out and you opened it up and shit. You guys remember that? It was like, that's how tapes worked. They were like, it was like the booklet to a CD, but it was fucking folded in, and you fucking open it up and shit, and always be looking around and flip it over, see how much shit you can find.
Yeah, that's how you song lyrics, see if maybe they mentioned your name in the album credits. They never did.
No.
Nope, never found my name in one of them fuckers. God damn it. You know, I was all about like the art on the inside of them. It's been a problem my whole life. Like I was never a details guy. So the inside of the thing was like, well, I don't give a shit about the lyrics of the song. I don't give a shit about who made the song. Like, I just want to hear the band play the song and then look at the cool artwork. So, you know, I always lost a lot of information. And I think that's the one thing that if I went back and redid it through my tape days and CD days, is I would go through that information, because nowadays, you know, people, you get all this different music in your head and you never actually look back at the phone. Rarely, you know, the song might catch your interest, but does it catch your interest enough to find out anything about it? Nah, probably not. So you don't look at the screen to look at the information, you know. So a lot of that shit seems to be getting lost in the digital age. You know, a lot of the respect for the people who make who make it all happen.
So once again, it's everything's right there at your fingertips. Yeah, there's more interesting stuff to read nowadays too. Like I said, it's pretty much any teenager going back to the room. You might have books and shit like that back in like when we were younger, but you sure as hell didn't have this where it's just like information of any sort at your fingertips, right? So you read what's in your room, kind of like how we talked about, like you used to read the bowl of cereal when you're eating breakfast, or read the box of cereal when you're eating breakfast. You know, same thing with reading that thing in your cassette tape, because you have that, right? You only have maybe 20 cassettes or 20 CDs in your collection. So, you know, you end up going through shit like that. But now it's, they say people are just more interested. It's way more content to absorb out there. So who cares about the finer details, like you said?
Hey, Fluffy. He was playing, or he did play with another band called Scar the Martyr. That's a band that everyone missed.
Scarlet Martyr? This is the one that...
I think he was playing drums. That was like in 2013.
Okay. Yeah, I was just, I was curious, like, because as I remember, he's a fucking phenomenal drummer. He is absolutely amazing, but, guitar was really his passion. And that was kind of interesting to me that he wasn't really known for it, and the people who, unless you really follow who Joey is, his projects, unless you followed him, that's not what you knew him as. You knew him as the fucking drummer from Slipknot. So,
yeah.
And I was right about Vimic. He was in that band too.
Yeah.
But as to what he was playing, I don't have that info in front of me, and I'm not gonna search it out.
It's so funny talking about like CD collections. Like I've amassed so many CDs in the course of my lifetime, but unfortunately, there have been like a girlfriend. It'll be huge, and then I'll fucking have a girlfriend who'll break up, and she'll fucking take my CDs, and I'll never see them again. It's like, fuck, and then I have to start all over again. And so then
they're just taking your CDs the third collection with you, right?
Now I'm like, fuck it. So
yeah, because you need to start getting girls that like your music, dude. I never had a chick want to keep any of my fucking CDs. If anything, they like take these fucking CDs out of my car or whatever.
I should do a lot of fucking things different, all right? We don't need to get into that. That's a whole nother fucking...
Well, now you know.
That's a whole different Wednesday special, right?
We don't want to talk about that. So now I just buy records because they weigh a shitload, and they don't want them because they're like, get that fucking heavy-ass crate out of here. Like, get all those... they're heavier than books, dude.
Oh, and actually, I just had a good thought pop in mind. We were talking about Columbia House and BMG earlier. I was online, I think Instagram, and I came across something that looks to be kind of like that, but it's for vinyl. And then I think I clicked on it, and then whatever happened, I obviously didn't look into it because I'm drawing a blank on it right now. But that'd be cool. I could see myself getting into that because it was like I think like a Venom album or like some kind of obscure-ish heavy metal band that they were cover their whole, not maybe the Possessed.
Man,
That'd be cool having vinyl records show up once a month or however often.
Possessed is so cool, dude. I mean, those dudes are like 17. That album is so cool. Like,
hey, Bees, fucking Sequence just put you fucking right in check. I don't know if you saw that, but
no, I don't see
Oh,
it.
share it with the class. I can't go to chat right now.
I said, Bees, if you could beat any of your girlfriends in an arm wrestling match, they wouldn't bully you out of your CDs.
Yeah, it's more like they were some, like.
Here comes the defense.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I don't need any of them. That's the thing. See, now, like, it's funny because then at a certain point I got an iPod. Like, I got the fucking biggest iPod there was. And then it was like, fuck the CDs, man. I'm just going to take everybody's library off their computer when I go visit and hang out with them. So then it was like in no time I filled it up. And then then I figured out, the back door on the iPod to take the music off the iPod. So then it was like, fuck yeah, I could start over again. And then I did. And then it was like, yeah, it was a vicious cycle. And it's still going on. Yeah. And I still go through huge bouts of like running up my pirate flag and fucking setting sails.
Oh yeah, dude, bro. I used to carry the old laptop around, rip every fucking CD that I could come across, and then I would actually transfer those over into MP3 discs onto DVDs so that you had, that giant fucking like 4 gig storage. And then I would fucking use those CDs to load my iPod. So then, like you said, when you found out the back door to when you get that shit off, then you could start mix and matching your iPod. And I mean, you just had fucking months worth of music.
Yep, pretty much.
I was taking people's CDs and downloading them to my first Xbox when I found out I could download CDs to the Xbox, dude. You had no idea the library I had in that Xbox.
Man, were you a person that modded your first Xbox? Like
no,
my brother had
I didn't do that.
500 gigabyte hard drive, and he would just download entire games onto it. And so he bought the Platinum Plus rental thing from Hollywood Video, and would rent every single game they had. Every time they came out with new ones, he'd get everyone they had. So it was like he had all the new shit. And it was
I was more obsessed about the fact that I could take people's music, man. Like, that's really what I was more interested in with the Xbox. It was kind of given to me. I traded it for a tattoo. When it first came out, I got, I played Dead to Rights. That game was badass, don't get me wrong. And a couple of the other games that were for it, but I was more of a PlayStation person, probably due to Grand Theft Auto. But the Xbox I love the fucking thing. It was like a jukebox, dude.
And for Blue Kiss out there, I wasn't a LimeWire person. I was a BearShare person.
LimeWire.
I don't feel like LimeWire was. Yeah, I don't feel like it was quite the dirty one night stand, but LimeWire was pretty dirty.
Hey man, I used the hell out of her.
That motherfucker was sketchy as fuck though. I don't know how many viruses I got off of fucking trying to get shit or got.
I ruined my friend's computer.
Every one of them.
I ruined my friend's computer. I know I did.
Oh, yeah. Bro. I mean, fucking everybody got STDs from fucking LimeWire.
I used Kazaa. Did anyone use Kazaa?
Yeah. That's the one that I was using when I first got into doing that stuff.
Well, I mean, it was Napster when the whole thing started, man. And it all started with fucking Napster. And then when Napster got all big and fucked up, then, most people kind of switched off the LimeWire. I went over to the BearShare route. You guys went to what? Kazaa?
Kazaa, Kazaa. Yep.
I think I've heard of that, but I've never used it. I thought LimeWire went all lumpy due to the Lars from Metallica, right? Wasn't that the whole deal? I mean, Napster. The Napster situation.
Well, I mean, that wasn't just him. It was a large group of musicians who were ready to shut that shit down.
To be honest, I think
Everyone
if
except
any
Lannis
of us
Morissette.
were in that situation, we probably would have done the same, right? That was a completely different landscape and time, like where all of a sudden you had people that this is their source of income, and all of a sudden you're taking it from them. I understand.
Well, hold on a
that, but as
second. We
Murray
could talk
said,
about genetics in the same line. If somebody buys the album and decides to share it, are they technically screwing over the original person because they bought the copy? That's like you getting a seed and you make a cross and then you dish it out. I mean, we could kind of
well,
put
but I
that in the
don't
same
think
aspect.
I never once heard of a band bitching about people recording tapes off of CDs or records or burning CDs and shit
CD
like
is
that. It was when
copyrighted.
you started downloading their internet or their stuff off the internet. That's when they got pissed off about it.
Hey, it was.
But
It
it was sharing to share. It was share to share.
You listen to guys like Lars Ulrich, man. He was huge on the
PvP.
tape trading scene back in the day. That's how Metallica was even came about, was bands writing letters to one another. Well, not bands necessarily, but people writing letters to one another, like me to Sam. Oh, I like this band, like Motorhead, Metallica, etc., etc. They kind of sound like these. Try them out. That's how a lot of those bands came about. Is tape trading. So bands in and how did that come about? You take an album and you record it on the tape.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey, you know where it really got, where it got fucked up, right? Was when they put that little fucking record button on the fucking tape players. The second they did that, they fucked up because they put that on there for me to record shit. Well, guess what? They open play shit on the radio. That's where most of my music used to come from. I'd record shit off fucking radio.
Yeah.
And fucking put it on a tape, and there you go. I had a fucking thing of songs. No one, like you said, no one bitched about that, but that would have been the same exact thing, fucking recording songs off. And I didn't do that. I didn't put that fucking record button there. They did. So fuck them. They gave us the ability.
I think Prophet kind of brings up a good point, though. Really, you are just splitting hairs at the end of the day. It's just one method or another, right? So it's, but. I don't know.
If you're not making money off of it, they can't bitch. They already got paid off of you. So,
I mean, some of my favorite things are just recorded on tape. Like the Dirty Rotten LP is just it's so perfect. It's in their parents' bedroom with egg crates on the wall and their fucking mics hooked up to the tape player. Come on, it's great.
Bro, Blue Kiss said it right there, man. We used to fucking pray that the damn DJ wouldn't fucking talk through the middle of the song you're trying to record off those scratchy ass fucking speakers. Fuck I remember.
I think that's why they did that. The last 10 seconds, they'd start cutting into the song and being like blah 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 blah, and you can hear it in the background. I bet you that's why.
That's why when in the days in Napster and fucking, LimeWire and stuff, when all of a sudden you get that song that had that weird fucking advertisement right in the middle of the song, you didn't even fucking really notice. There were so many DJs doing that back to the songs back in the day. Fuck, it was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Throw your advertisement in there.
I thought I was really slick when I figured out how to do the exact same thing, but record off of Much Music, which was up in Canada. It was the same thing as MTV. This music video channel where it's you have everything patched in through your amplifier. So the signal's going in. I've got to be able to record it somewhere, right? And it was the same thing. And I remember doing that as recently as we were talking about System of a Down earlier, the song BYOB. I remember that one came out and it was, they were playing the single and the album wasn't even out yet. Well, fuck, that's a catchy ass song. I've got to have that in the collection. So and that's how I ended up getting that. I don't remember if it was off the radio or off of the music channel on television, but that's just over. That might even be less than 20 years ago at this point, right?
What, MTV with playing music videos?
The song BYOB.
Oh, all right. I'm about to say, because I actually, when MTV used to actually play videos, I would try to record videos on VHS.
Dude, we used to do that on the box.
The box?
Yeah, it was like this fucking, I don't know, man. My cousins had it. It was channel 99. They're we have to turn the TV backwards to get to it. Like you had to go backwards, you couldn't go up, you had to go down for whatever reason. But it was just like music videos, and you could call this hotline number that charged you a ridiculous amount, I am sure, and request a video, right?
Totally
and then play.
remember
Like you could
this.
see it, you'd punch in the number on the bottom of the screen too, so you knew it was coming. Dude, I'd go spend the weekend with my cousins, like the week in the summer, and they would fucking be like, yeah, you want to call the box? And they would call it probably like 20 or 30 times in that week. Like, I'm so glad I wasn't there when the fucking phone bill showed up, because I'm sure it was just outrageous. But it was like we would like request Offspring like over and over and watch it like 9-10 times in a row. Like just keep requesting it every time. So we just played the same, shit like that.
Okay, but which Offspring?
At that time, it would have been something off of like Americana, probably.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to say Smash.
Well,
That was one of the first CDs I ever bought was Offspring Smash. And I think a lot of that album still holds up personally.
Absolutely.
Then they went a little bit more poppy than I would like after that, which
See,
that was the direction. You could see that coming from their earlier stuff too, right? By the time they hit Smash, like it was.
Yeah.
I think their first album was the first album I bought, Caribou. I remember you mentioning it. Was it DJ Jazzy Jeff? He's a DJ on the rapper.
Yep, that was my first cassette I ever got. Absolutely.
That was one of the first cassettes I actually got too.
Yeah,
and then I learned there was actually albums before that one, like Rock the House and shit like that. So I started going back and getting those.
Yeah, I remember how that one. Like we were all fans of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air show at that point in time. I remember our grade 3 teacher, Mr. Reed, who still to this day is the best teacher I've ever had. He had some silly competition where the winner, they get a tape. He'll go to the store and buy them whatever tape they want. And my buddy Chris, he ended up winning, and he got a DJ Jazzy Jeff one, and he ended up getting the album with I Think I Can Beat Mike Tyson on it. And then I remember, like, my friend Chris had an album from this guy, so I had to have an album by this guy, right? And so I take my mom my mom takes me to the store, I guess is how that one worked. This is grade 3. And I get a DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince album, but it's not the same one. It's the one that we were just talking about. He's the DJ, I'm the rapper, with like Nightmare on My Street, Parents Just Don't Understand. It was actually a hell of a lot better album, but I remember being disappointed at first when I realized I didn't have the same album that Chris had. It was way better album. I still have.
I thought Freddie Roxy was pretty awesome too.
Yep.
You remember him?
Beatboxer.
Yeah.
That was the guy that did the beatboxing, right? Yeah, man, he did some really wicked stuff. And this is funny, we're talking about this shit on a Joey Jordison episode, but Jazzy Jeff is very, like, he as a DJ, very, very, very good DJ in terms of like scratching and sampling and all that stuff back in the day.
I was just thinking, my actual first album that I bought myself, like my parents took me and I picked it out and it was mine, was fucking Shout at the Devil, fucking Motley Crue. That was my first hand-picked album.
Dude,
and my fucking parents were like, what in the fuck is this? I'm glad
you brought them up, man. I'm actually going through a bit of a Motley Crue kick in the last couple of weeks. Just, you know how it is. You don't listen to a band for a couple of years. And Shout at the Devil, that's my song for Motley Crue. That and Live Wire, the two songs. I just throw those on. And I've been loving the Motley Crue the last couple of weeks. So that's awesome.
I had all those because that's what my parents listened to, So I grew up to all that shit. And I remember being very young and loving the Van Halen 1984 album. Because my mother had it and my dad had it. So like that was like one of the first albums that like I gravitated to at like fucking 6 years old.
You're not that much fucking younger than me, motherfucker. There's no way it was your parents listening and being all, what?
Yes.
That was you listening to it, motherfucker.
No, that was them, dude. I all that shit like that you're talking about, fucking, I heard from my father. I grew up with that shit because of my father and my mother listened to that shit, man.
You got to think of where he is. All right, this is like they just progressed from fucking REO Speedwagon into that, right? Probably.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, REO Speedwagon was definitely in the collection.
See, my parents were fucking old. Like, they're still old. What am I talking about?
Yeah, my parents only 17 years older than me, man.
Like, my mom, like, was in Beatlemania and fucking rode bumper cars, like, with the Beach Boys and shit like that, you know, like she she was convinced, like there's some song
at the sock hop.
well, is it this place called
At the sock.
at Lagoon, and they'd like play a concert and then they'd go out and ride rides with the girls.
Dude, my parents brought me to a Quiet Riot fucking concert.
Dude, that's cool.
That is
I mean, I was 5. It was a free
very cool.
concert. You can look it up. It was at Rocky Point. It was somebody died, but they stage dived off the stage that was really high into the ocean, which was at low tide.
Yeah, it's one of those you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes type scenarios.
That was back when beer was okay everywhere, you know, and you could leave your kid in the back of the truck that was wide open, you know, that, yeah, the good old days.
Well, yeah. If you're 5 years old, we're talking like early '80s is my guess, right? It's it's a long time ago. So, but yeah, that's Quiet Riot. That'd be very cool to see. My parents took me to see Tom Cochrane when I don't know if you American friends of mine know who he is. He's a Canadian guy. Do you know the song "Life Is a Highway" by any chance?
Yeah, of course. Come on, man.
That's him. He's that guy, right? And just as that album came out, Canada Day, 1992, that was my very first show ever. So I'd love to see
that was played at like every dance in my high school.
Yeah, no, that's
mine too, probably. I only went to like 2.
So I didn't dance. I was like too introverted and awkward. I have no rhythm is one of my biggest things. But now I just don't give a fuck. I've reached that age where I don't care if people are looking at me and laughing at me. I'll be shaking my ass in the bush as I'm swinging a chainsaw around and just like, who gives a fuck? I'm having fun.
Well, it makes life fun, man. Especially when you got fucking dangerous power tools and you're shaking them around like a fucking maniac.
Dude,
good time.
I air guitar that shit sometimes. I at least throw the chain brake on before I air guitar that shit, but I full on air guitar.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here thinking, right. I mean, we swing around fire all the time, you know, got a fucking torch, just fucking shoot. Yeah, right. It's
when
metal.
I was younger and I was playing drums, we would always, like, you know, in practice, after practice, we'd always talk about some dream band that we wanted to start, like another band, because we'd have a new idea for a new band, right? So my friend came up with this idea to start a death metal band called Vegan Cannibal and write songs only about eating vegans. You only eat vegans because that's the real vegan. Cannibal only eats vegans, whatever, right? But he was going to play the chainsaw. Like that was going to be the instrument he played, was just straight up chainsaw. And he was just going to have sides of beef and just cut slices off, like at times, then on cue. That was it was going to be a new metal band. He was going to have people play trash can lids, and then fucking it was going to be the whole thing. He had it like this orchestrated pantheon of players.
I just want to know how expensive that would have got. You know, I mean, first show broke you in fucking meat.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. First song, that's like 2/3 of a cow gone right there. Bring out another side. The next show is coming on. Like people in the crowd are just like, geez, I can't wait to see what they do for an encore.
Oh, they're gonna cook this shit.
But the whole concept of songs about eating vegans, I could actually see that working as a band, because there are bands that just get their shticks and they go with it, right? That's a solid concept. I could see working. Like look at cattle decapitation, right? They're a bunch of vegans and they do really wicked death metal, and they're very,
Yeah, but you read their lyrics and you're like, oh, that's what they're saying? That's how I felt when I read cattle decapitation lyrics. I was like, oh, like...
Why you gotta hate, bro? Don't look at the fucking lyrics.
I know.
Just listen to the goddamn song, man.
Well, I haven't since then. And I fucking, like, the second I got, into the second verse, I was just like, nope. I don't need to read many more of these. I'm just gonna fucking be ignorant and enjoy it.
See, my thing is with especially with heavy metal music, I don't care what they're saying, and I pick up on very little of what they actually do say. I might catch words and stuff like that, but for me, it's more of like a lot of like a rhythmic thing, especially if you're, like I said, if I'm at work doing for my job or whatever, right? It's just more of just an all-in-one package, I'd say. Don't ask me about a song's meaning. I know No Rain by Blind Melon is about heroin use, and other than that, I don't think I've ever deciphered a song.
I'll tell you what. Whenever I take acid and I listen to music, I'm like, this is about acid. That's the only time I'll smoke weed and I'm like, this isn't about weed or anything like that, unless it's clearly a weed song, you know, because there's the blatant ones. But like, I guess it's classic rock. If you listen to classic rock and you trip, take mushrooms or something, you're just like, man, they wrote this song because they were tripping too. We're all tripping.
I mean,
Life's
that's
a
like,
trip.
right? That's like your Doors experience, and like, you know, your Floyd, your Beatles, you know, that's
Exactly.
when you get into that shit,
You're
man.
like,
Your Frank
whoa.
Zappa.
But yeah,
Bro,
that's,
Guinea
the
thing-
craziest one is he never even did drugs. Ah!
I
Yeah.
know when
He just
when
orchestrated
you think,
it and composed it.
oh, dude, when you think about Frank Zappa's music, man, that dude was just amazing. He was so far ahead of his time; it was unreal.
Yeah.
I remember reading one of his biographies and thinking, you know, like you listen to his music, as we were just saying, you think he was seriously fucked up on drugs. Because I'm really, or used to be really big on rock biographies. So you're just like, oh, yeah, this is going to be a really good story. And within, I think, the first 50 pages, they mentioned that he didn't do drugs for most of his life, only a couple times, period. And then you're just like, oh, you almost don't even know if you want to go through with reading it anymore, because, you know, you just want to hear about the drugs and shit like that. But it is actually, it's a really great book.
Yeah, when you realize that he was, you know, very much into politics, and he was very much, you know, just, I mean, the motherfucker had a PhD in musical theory. I mean,
Yeah,
fuck.
he was really brilliant.
Yeah, and realize that his biggest vice was probably smoking. I mean, that dude smoked like
smoked like a
chimney.
chimney. Yeah.
Holy shit. I mean, I used to smoke back in the day, but that dude, he could smoke.
Yeah. I fucking love Frank Zappa. Like, I took a college course, like Intro to Music. Sounded easy. I ended up in like my favorite class, and the dude who taught it looked almost identical to you, Fluffy, just with a like short trimmed goatee. Like if you just put, you know, the small attachment on a buzzer, identical. It was weird. Anyways, he gets up and he's talking, and then he like starts talking about, oh well, modern composers, no one knows any. And he's like, well, what about Frank Zappa? And so he made the whole class listen to Frank Zappa's fucking orchestral favorites, which was like, for most of the people in the class, I'm sure completely unlistenable. They were probably like, what the fuck is this?
Oh, absolutely. But right, you don't realize that he like literally composed that shit. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was awesome. I loved it. Still do.
Yeah, I mean, I way back when I used to play instruments, I'm terrible at playing. I don't have an ear. Like I can't. I was you got to kind of fucking play it by the sheet, you know, kind of guy. I could play music, but I had to look at me. Like I just couldn't. I don't have that soul, you know, to make it just come out of me. But I thought about the whole idea of trying to compose, you know, something like that, and started getting into it. Dude. Yeah, there needs to be a dab frog. But yeah, dude, there's so much work in just, yeah, there's no way I could ever do something like that. It's crazy.
You know, there's like really old footage of him too on some like variety shows. You know, like there's only one that comes to mind right now is the one of like him playing a bicycle. Like he has some bicycle flipped upside down, he starts pedaling, and then he fucking just like starts rubbing it and makes a sound, makes a song. It's a good time.
Yeah, that's definitely good shit.
There you go.
This whole time I thought my dab shit was downstairs, and then I just looked down and realized it's been up here.
Is it right next to your joint?
No, wait. No, it is not.
That joint, That joint's still MIA.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yep.
Is it really?
Yeah, dude. And what's crazy is
And
I
what, like,
emptied out my bedroom. Like, there's nothing in my bedroom at all. And that was the only room I walked into. The only one other possible place it could be is maybe in my like refuge bag where I put my trimming and shit. Maybe it fell in there when I was like topping the plants and kind of throwing the shit in there and not thinking about it. And maybe it's at the bottom of the bag, but it's a lawn bag, so it's basically I gotta pull shit out to get to the bottom.
I think he rolled. I think he rolled the son of a bitch. He put it in his ear. He walked around the house. He was walking by the old fucking hamster cage right there. It fell out. His hamster fucking ate it, and now he ain't got a fucking joint. That's what happened to it.
It's a guinea pig, but maybe.
It's got to be like.
I know.
Prophet's always very quick to correct it. Eh? Hey, it's a guinea pig.
It's a fucking guinea pig. I mean, it's too big to stick up my ass. All right, it's not a hamster or a gerbil.
I forget. And what's it? Kenny?
It's
Kenny?
Tina.
Tina. That's it. It's fucking Tina.
Yeah. She's a nutcase, man. I let her out. She'll run around. And then she knows it's feeding time. So she's like, checks out the living room, does her fucking rounds, plays with the dog for a few minutes, pops back, wait for me to fucking come back with food.
I think that's the best part. I thought you were joking once, and then you actually just like left the camera there while you were fucking feeding the ferret. And to
It's
see
not a ferret. It's a fucking guinea pig.
But to see Roxy go up there, and Roxy was like fucking, herding the fucking gerbil around. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I have a little spot set up so that she can run behind her cage, and then she can run behind the couch and underneath the chair and shit to kind of get away from Roxy, because she's not trying to hurt her, she's trying to play with her, but she bats her with her head and like shoots her across the fucking room, It's like, yo, easy, But she gets real excited about the guinea pig. They work in tandem, man, I swear to God, because the latch is just, all I gotta do is turn it to the side, and she'll take her big ass nose and just smack it, and then the flap drops, and I'll hear it. And then I come out here, and like the guinea pig's running around and shit. I'm like, all right, bitch. If the cat was still alive, you wouldn't be doing that.
Absolutely.
See, we got a couple of rats at our place, and we also have a couple of cats. It's too bad because the rats are actually a lot of fun, but they don't get to come out too often, because if they get away from you and get like under the couch or whatever, there's a chance the cat might get to them before you do. I wouldn't want that. It's funny how attached you grow to like something as small as a rat or a mouse, or in your case, a gerbil.
All right, Prophet. Bend
Guinea
over,
pig.
Drop your pants.
I know, buddy. I'm just
Tina.
What was that, Beast?
Painted lady says she wants to see Tina, so stand up and drop your pants and bend over. Let's see
Okay, hold on. Let me take her out.
Let's see her.
She's gonna be so mad at me. I just fed her too.
You just stuffed her in there. Do you grease her before you stick her in there? What do you do with her? You oil her down?
I think Curtin probably shipped him the bear grease that he rendered down.
No doubt.
Straight up boof life.
Shout out to her. Curtin the Squirtin' Albertan.
She's a fat little shit though, because I feed her well.
No, I don't think so. Maybe.
I haven't seen him around in a long time. I hope he's okay.
He was on Discord 2 days ago.
Is he?
Yep.
Oh, and he was in chat yesterday when we had chat on. He was in chat.
I know. We used to talk to him like almost every day. Earlier today, I was thinking about it. It's like, actually haven't heard from him, and it seems like quite a while.
Who exactly?
Squirty.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, he took a camping trip for a hot minute. He
did something.
So.
Oh,
well, he actually showed up for the show to call that dude out that was kind of running his trap, and then he bounced out.
Yeah.
Huh? I'm confused.
I'll fill you in later.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right, G-Bay. That is a cute hamster.
She's well fed. She just got a bath today, which is pretty funny, But
after what you do with it, I would hope you do give it a bath.
Yeah, she was shedding. She's still shedding. Like fucking animals, dude. They're short haired, but it gets everywhere. Even the dog, man. She's a short haired dog, but she still sheds. But she purrs.
Really? That's pretty cool.
This one, yeah. She once you like set her up and not fuck around with her, and you start getting her in the right spot, she starts purring. It's pretty funny.
That's cool.
She ain't gonna do it. She's like, "Why the fuck you got me propped up here?" Oh, he's almost doing it.
Rub harder.
I'm trying to get that spot. She's like, if I was on the floor right now or whatever, she'd be fine.
Stick a finger in it and see if you can get it that way.
Yeah.
Suddenly, that Clarence Carter song "Stroking" comes to mind. Prophet's playing with his gerbil. Stroke it to the east, and I stroke it to the.
But she's a little fat ass. Huh? You little fat ass. But she eats nothing but vegetables. That's all I feed her. I don't give her really any gerbil food.
Oh.
Fucking thing eats better than I do, or healthier than I do, should I say?
You know, I'm glad we could provide another first for Chad Westport. You know, he's never had fuck me eyes from gerbil before, so now he has. So
Oh, nice.
You're welcome, Mr. Westport.
Yes, I'm so glad we could help you out, Chad, brother.
There you go. There's your fuck me eyes, buddy.
That's a sexy eye right there. Woo. You might get painted lady all fucking hot and bothered after that one.
Well, yeah, I would assume so. I think that comment for Westport there just made my day. I was already in a great mood. I had a great day. Like the days like today at work, or those are the days that I love, right? Where it's just, and then I came home and like you're all to this hotel, and oh yeah, say hi to Seth. He's sleeping back there. Okay, and I gotta have a roommate when I'm on the road. And
hey, real quick, can we all just acknowledge that was a really cute lemming? So
that is not true. All she can do is side eye you. It's creepy as fuck.
It's cute. It's not creepy.
Side eye? I'm gonna get you like this from now on.
It's walleye, baby. It's not side eyeing.
Let me do this.
So do you think there's any other like place in the world where a tribute show to a fucking metal legend would have a talk about a gerbil in it? I mean,
any good one.
Yeah. Well, it's a really cool varmint that he's got over there, right?
It is a cool varmint.
Did you predict the early spring with that motherfucker?
No, I did not. I bet you guys are more impressed with the fact that my dog isn't tearing the fucking thing apart.
No,
as it runs around.
That blue eye, man. I don't think I've seen a blue eye in a gerbil or a hamster.
I've seen how lazy Roxy is, man. I ain't worried about her messing with that gerbil. Fuck Roxy up.
Not a plant. She's not gonna step on it.
Yeah. Hey, she's 50-50, I'll tell you what, because the first one she stepped on, it's a fucking beast, and I'm very glad she did that. The second one was a little too small, and she killed it.
That's a good one. It's a marmot.
Like my dog, I got a 150-pound Doberman at home, and he's terrified of stuff like that. Like anything little or new, he's just terrified. But he's like, like I wanted a Doberman for years, like even years before I got him, and it was like I wanted a intimidating dog because nobody's gonna fuck around if you got an intimidating dog. But there's always gonna be kids and stuff like that around, so he can't be freaking like a mean dog at all. Like he's got no meanness.
Yeah, you can't have a loose cannon.
One of my favorite things to do with him is just fucking with him because he's just like, so it would be like wrestling around with him because he likes to roughhouse and play around and shit like that. And then as you start letting him win, you just be like, oh, what the fuck? And then you like take off and run and hide in the different room. And it's just like, come on back. And he comes kind of like, he's just like, fuck, he's hilarious. It's the fun games that we play with your big dopey dog.
Yeah, this one's not afraid of anything. It's anything smaller than her, she's pretty convinced she's the boss, so she can play with it and she's fine with it. But anything her size or bigger, she wants to find out who the boss is. That's it. She's not an aggressive dog. She just wants to figure out where the line is.
Yeah, no, Biden's just the biggest suck and the biggest pushover. The thing is, if you get like a dog that is like keeps getting in his, like he'll submit and back down. But if the dog keeps kind of coming over to him and growling, making noise, then eventually he's just gonna say, "Okay, fuck you." And I've seen him. He loses.
Yeah.
So he doesn't realize he weighs 150 pounds. I'm pretty sure he's like.
I did have to actually save my niece's chihuahua from her. But in all fairness, the chihuahua did try to attack her cat and then went over and bit Roxy in the face. And like, I saw it coming and I fucking dove across the room and kind of threw my arm in between Roxy and the dog, and I popped the dog out of Roxy's mouth as she was clamping down on my arm. And like, she realized it was me and like stopped. But yeah, like, dude, seconds. Like, I just basically had to throw my hand in there trying to scoop this little dog out. But in all fairness, the fucker deserved it. Like, that's why I couldn't really yell at her. I mean, that was her cat, man. She heard the noise from upstairs, and like the way she came down, I could tell that she was like coming down, meaning business, not her normal like prancing. It was like and I'm like, that don't sound right. So I got up, and the dog came off the bed and then came over right to her face and fucking bit her. And that was like, I saw her engulf her, just the dog disappeared, and I freaking just snatched over and fucking popped it out of her mouth.
Roxy's like, motherfucker, that cat licks my asshole.
No, that cat actually used to boss her around. Straight up.
Asshole, I promise. They lick
Yeah,
asshole.
We
all know. They're animals. That's what
they're animals.
You lick my asshole, I'll lick yours. Come on now.
Hey, it should work like that with people, if you ask me.
Fucking the unwritten book of the
You go
road.
first, Prophet, and then we'll discuss it afterwards.
All right.
Follow the book, you'll get where you're going in no time.
That's it. I'll lick a rim for a few 100 miles.
I was thinking if we had Dave up here, we could probably get him to play a video of like a Joey Jordison drum solo and get this video banned off YouTube for us.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Dave's super helpful like that.
You got good ideas, Caribou.
Way to keep the show running.
You know what though? I mean, how many times have you seen Has anybody seen Slipknot live other than me? I'm just right now.
No, unfortunately, I haven't, Fluff. So I gotta live vicariously through you.
Oh man, I mean that was kind of the one thing. Your music kind of always suffers. Coming from obviously a recorded studio but Slipknot was always kind of right there, man. They always had that. The music was still getting played well, even after the fucking utter chaos that is happening on stage. Like, there's stories about how, like Sid jumped off of like one of the speaker towers, landed, broke both of his fucking feet at the beginning of the show, and finished the show out with 2 broken fucking feet. And I mean, an amazing show. It was fucking great, those guys were just absolute fucking animals in their stage. It wasn't a stage show. It was just fucking mass chaos, man. And it was so cool to see them and be able to fucking have a show, listen to quality music while doing it.
That's the best part, is like when you get to see an awesome show and it's just like the whole band, like everything is this wicked package. I remember seeing Avenged Sevenfold a few years ago, and I've never been a fan of them, but they had Hell Yeah open up, and I didn't mind Hell Yeah's first album, and so I went to see that. It was in my hometown of Prince George, and like Avenged Seven, like Hell Yeah, come on, they put on a good rocket show, right? They're a stripped down band. They don't do anything fancy. They just energy. They know how to put on a show. They did a pretty good job. And then you got like Avenged Sevenfold that had like just insane pyrotechnics through every show or every song. And I'm just standing there bored, like, wow. And then when it came time for the big fancy guitar solo, the guy fucking ripped off Thunderstruck by AC/DC. He was just playing it like slightly backwards or slower or something like that. But you could tell what fucking song he was playing. And I'm just like, yawn, all this pyro going off all around you, fucking yawn. Like maybe if their songs didn't fucking suck, but
that was the case with Black Dahlia Murder when I saw them. Like this band Skeleton Witch opened up, and they had so much energy, like the show was so much better, right? And then Black Dahlia Murder came up, and they're great. Like I love them, but they were so boring to watch. It was like, yeah. But thankfully, there were fucking seats like on the way back wall. I'll just find my way over there and watch from where I can see.
Thanks, Caribou. You just reminded me of Hell Yeah. I will be listening to them tomorrow. I fucking totally forgot about them.
Hell yeah.
I missed a chance. Had the fucking tickets. We were like the day of the show, just life fucking fell apart. And we were like, fuck it, we can't go to the show. And I think it was like that next week was when fucking Dimebag died. And so there was no more Hell Yeah to go see. It was just like, fuck. It's like, well, there's another. I had a fucking same experience with fucking Static X. I was in fucking Vegas. We were over in the old strip and like just in the House of Blues or whatever. Either they got a little like satellite one there in the old strip, and Static X was playing that night. I was like, fuck, I was like, babe, let's come back and let's go see Static X tonight. I was like, that'd be fuck cool for just some random shit to do. And it just, we never could make it there. Didn't get there. And it was like 4 days later, fucking Wayne died. And, so there it is. Fucking.
Hey, so speaking of Static X, I think they just put out a new album with their new singer. Is it actually Edsel Dope singing? Do we know? Has anybody heard it?
Yes, it is. It is Edsel. They officially finally confirmed it.
Yeah, because I remember him. He had the mask on and stuff like that. Because you mentioned Dope earlier. That was a band that actually I liked. They did like a lot of their stuff was very forgettable, but their stuff that's good is really fucking good. The almost that entire No Regrets album was freaking phenomenal. And like what they did for Spin Me Right Round, which I think we mentioned earlier, their Fuck the Police cover off of, I think that's the American Apathy album, that was fucking killer too. But yeah, they're just so like, yeah, I remember checking out that new Static X album, and it sounded like Static X, it did, but for me, my problem with new music is, and this is even coming from bands that I've loved for however many years, the music just isn't very good anymore. And and another good question I have is, since COVID happened and nobody's been touring for over a year, well, they're just starting up nowadays, I guess, in some places. Where the fuck's all the good music? Like, you got all these artists sitting at home, unable to tour, and like, this is how you make your music. You would think like singles would be a really big thing right now, but I'm not finding anything. Is like, what's up with that?
Yeah, I've kind of wondered that myself, right? Nobody's out touring, nobody's out doing anything, and nobody's dropping music. Like, you would think we'd at least get like some album releases by now. It's been how long, and there's been no real good album releases it's like
there's lots of bands touring, just not the ones you want.
Yeah, let's see.
Or the fucking shows on a Tuesday or some shit like that. That's the problem. That's my problem right now. I want to go see this band Metalachi. They're like a metal mariachi band. Fucking pretty funny. And then
damn right, Painted Lady Static X was fucking great live. They were like one of my top live shows I've ever fucking seen. Fucking Static X was amazing live.
I think it's Seven Dust when you talk about Static X.
And the fact that his hair stays up the entire show was fucking amazing.
That's impressive.
Dude, props to whatever the fuck that dude put in his hair, because it stayed up the whole show.
I heard it was supposed to come.
But no, actually, Edsel coming back on, I heard some of it. I super enjoy it. And honestly, I hope he keeps the little mask thing so that, he keeps that little bit of anonymity, to it, and kind of leaves that nod to fucking Wayne, because
but now here's the thing. What would you rather see? Would you rather him continue on and do the Static X kind of reborn thing, or would you rather see him get back together with Dope, or try and juggle both? We'll throw that all of the above answer in there too. I'd personally rather see him get back together with Dope, because as I got a little bit older, I can still listen to Dope, and I said I just like their style a little bit better. Whereas I think I don't know, just at some point in time I lost it with Static X after their second album. I just kind of became disinterested, and not knocking it, just wasn't my thing anymore. But yeah, probably, and also Prophet mentioned Seven Dust a minute ago. That's another freaking band that to me was like they had everything they needed to be amazing, but just for some reason never were. Like LeJean Witherspoon's an amazing singer. The Wicked Rhythm section. It's like
Yeah, actually, I think they just dropped an album. Speaking of people who, for recent albums, I think they just came out with one. I've been seeing a lot of their shit in my YouTube. And what was it? Nonpoint, I think, was running with them for a while too when they were touring. And actually, Nonpoint is a really good group.
they're a band I should check out now that music streaming is a thing, because I remember there's an Ozzfest CD that came out 2000, 2001. I think it was one of those years, and Nonpoint had a song. I was at What a Day, I think was the song. And that song was fucking good, man. So like I wouldn't mind checking out more of their stuff.
I
And
think
they
if
also
I
do
recall,
with your name on it, don't they?
I think so. I think if I recall, there's actually a couple quick like hits that Nonpoint had that people don't realize were theirs. If I recall, if I'm thinking of the right band.
Alive and Kicking.
It's either them or Primer 55 I'm thinking of, because a lot of
Oh
people
man,
Yeah, Primer 55, dude. That's
funny.
a fucking great band, and Fluff, you're probably the first person I've ever come across that actually knows who they are.
Dude, that's so funny. We went to the mall once and they were fucking, I don't know if it was them or it was like their street team, but I got fucking hooked up with a shitload of like free merch from Primer 55, like bumper stickers, decals, patches, buttons. They were just at the mall outside of Hot Topic. Like we were walking in, fucking see what was on
Cool,
see
man.
what was on the discount rack.
Their second album, what was it? What's that, the new release or the new album, I think it might be called? But with the song Texas, that was fucking awesome, man. It's because, and that's another shout out to Metal Edge magazine or Hit Parade or one of those, because I remember there was probably a Metal Edge magazine where they had like about 6 or 8 different fold out posters right in the center of it. You pull those out, and Primer 55 was one of them. And I'm like, well, who the fuck are these guys? I've never heard of them. I can't put that up on my wall. But luckily, they're double-sided, so it was probably like a 7 Dust or something like that on the other side. Mm-hmm. But then when like Kaza, LimeWire, and all that shit came out, I remember, that Primer 55 band, I'll check them out. And it was like, if you're into that new metal stuff, fuck, they were pretty good, man.
Well, you know what? I mean, getting on that, it's for me, it was all about, like big shout out to fucking Ozzy for putting on Ozzfest, because Primer 55, Apartment 26, fucking bands like that, they all were known because fucking Ozzy gave them a chance and let them fucking tour around with them. I mean, he did so much good putting on Ozzfest and having so many bands and doing those festivals like that. He was kind of the first real good fucking show for metal and shit that actually did something like that. So I mean, like I said, that's how I found Slipknot. It was through that shit, and that's fucking amazing. So
dude, I used to, like, as I said, I used to read the magazine, so every year Ozzfest would come out, and I'd just be like, oh my God, I only wish I could get to see one of those lineups, right? You're absolutely right. Like, I wish they, because there's, like I was saying, I bought that one compilation CD, and I wish they would have put something like that out every year, because through the years, or maybe they did, and I just never found them or found out about them, but those were wicked.
So, like, I used to look at the fucking Ozzfest, like poster or whatever and you would like I knew there was no way I was going, but you better believe I fucking memorized band names for when I got home, so I could fucking look them up, so then I could know about cool shit. So then if I ever did come across somebody who was like, oh yeah, I went to this show, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I knew about them, right? Because he had to be the fucking cool kid. So it's funny. So I got into punk rock, right? After I got into Slipknot, right? And then I got out of Slipknot because I got into punk rock and skateboarding and shit. And so it's like you buy these fucking punk rock albums and you would study the pictures on the CD because it would have pictures of the band, right? And the band would have their fucking leather jackets with studs and patches and shit on there. So you'd like fucking get your magnifying glass out, like, okay, what does that fucking patch say? It's you know, and so you're like, oh yeah, and then you look that band up. That's like so, you know, like the lengths I went to fucking find new music.
That's deep, man.
Dude,
Bro, that was. I always hung around with the super fucking nerd like you so that I knew where the cool shit was because I wasn't going to go through all that work to find out where the cool shit was. So I just hung out with your ass so that you would tell me what's fucking cool. I was like, well, man, that dude's playing some cool shit. Let's go see what he's got going on. But, you know, Painted Lady did say it right. You know, it is true. Thanks to Sharon, because Sharon was kind of the backbone behind Ozzfest. So, you know, it was true. Thanks to her. And fucking Chad, fucking Headbangers Ball, man. That is fucking where you found your new shit back in the day. Fucking dude, Ricky Rackman was all about fucking metal back then.
I like the one where he interviews Danzig and asks him about fucking Misfits, and then he gets all mad. He gets all mad. Oh, I'm fucking a little man who's mad.
He's got that little man syndrome, bro, and he's angry. He's fucking, he's punk. He's angry.
That's why he wears
really mad at his mom,
platform
and
boots. But he loves his cats.
Yeah. Did you guys have? I think it was called the Hairbangers Ball, and fucking Dean Snyder was the actual host to it. Man, he'd do nothing but hair bands. We actually had it on the local rock station over here. I don't know if you guys had it over there.
Yeah, he does that on a couple different. Yeah, it's like a nationally syndicated one.
Okay.
Yeah, I've listened to that quite a bit.
I fucking love that dude. He's excited about everything.
I'd love to do a similar show to what we're doing now, all about like 80s metal, but not even just like bands like Guns N' Roses.
Slaughter.
Those are like a little too easy.
Queen's
like,
right.
let's talk about like Firehouse and other shit.
Wasp.
Yeah, Wasp. That'd be another good one.
A little Striper.
I like Wasp. I won't lie. However, I've read and heard stories that they're fucking assholes. Like in real life, they're fucking.
We talking Wasp? I didn't get big into them.
I think I had their greatest hits, and I thought it was fucking sweet, dude.
Yeah, the music is good. I remember reading Slash's biography, and he said he can remember how many times he's had racial slurs against him from other musicians or something to that effect. He's like, it's exactly once, and it was the guitar player from Wasp, and I went to confront him about it, and he fucking ran away pretty much or something like that.
Yeah, well, you just confirmed what I have heard from other people, so yep, there you go. That's the story I hadn't heard either, so.
Hey man, I'm all about it, right? We keep talking about him. I mean, what? Like, you want to get in some Striper? I mean, yeah, come on, let's go. But I mean, when I really fall back to that shit, man, I go back to like Dio though. I gotta go way back when you start getting into that, man. That's my rock god right there.
Straight to Manowar, man.
But good one.
Oh, Manowar.
It's either the best metal band or the worst metal band. It depends on what you're. It's one or the other. Chat's going crazy. I don't have time to look at it because
I couldn't even keep up anymore.
That's what I'm saying. And there's so many.
Back in the drinking. Oh,
go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say back in the drinking days, folks, we're talking about D-Side. Twisted Sister used to be one of my absolute favorite bands to get drunk to. You put on their Big Hits, Nasty Cuts album, and it's just like solid gold from beginning to end. It's just like, let's get loaded. Maybe do a bunch of cocaine while we're at it.
How do you guys feel about Pantera's power metal album?
It's another one of those like how I was saying, when you build something up in your mind and all of a sudden it's it's okay, but to me it's not Pantera.
It wasn't like you want to listen. Like it was when it was shown to me, it wasn't like you want to hear Pantera and then that was played. It was like, and I didn't know anything about it, so it was like my friend just put it on and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, that kind of sounds like Phil Anselmo a little bit. And he's like, it fucking is. So, like, weird. I gotta say, I think Phil Anselmo is arguably like one of the best vocalists of the last 30 years, maybe. I don't know, maybe not 30 years. He's kind of fallen off since for some time, but I don't know, man. I really
I'd
like
second that. He's like
fucking awesome.
He sings really well. You look at the song Stone the Crow with Down, like he can actually really carry a tune when he wants to. He just has that gravelly voice, goes really well with like bluesy type music. But then you look at Pantera, man. Fucking Pantera is Pantera, heavy as fuck, where it would live, but it's got that groove to it. But then you see his solo shit with like his solo album, Necropheist, Viking Campground. God, you could go on naming all his metal projects. He's got that somewhere. It's just
Ritual.
Like there's nothing you can't do.
Yeah, he's got a good scream.
Yeah, I mean that is very true, and I mean that's another thing. When you think about it, like guys like Corey Taylor do the same thing. You can think about him; he's a great front man for a band, but the dude can actually sing. I mean, he's actually got some chops. So
he showed that in Stone Sour, and I think that's probably why he did it.
You know what? He showed it before. You go to their first album, and their song, I can't remember the name.
It was like Wait and Bleed.
Like, I was like,
yeah,
I wasn't promised a thing. Right? I can't sing the song for shit, but that, like, he can carry that fucking wicked. And it's like, because I was one of those people that when we mentioned earlier, when Subliminal Verses came around, I was pissed. Like, oh, he brought Stone Sour to Slipknot, blah, 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 blah. But no, man, the melodies were in Slipknot right from the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, right. If you listen to the music, right, you heard that the motherfucker singing had some shit going on. It was great. But he didn't want too much of that. So when he wanted to get down and show people he could sing, right, he went to Stone Sour. And to me, I was like, you're kind of pussing out. But at the same point, right, I get it, dude. You can sing. I'm sorry for judging you. You can sing. You should be able to show that to somebody.
Well, and it's better than say maybe he was going to take Slipknot and just turn it into more of a alternative based band like that, Stone Sour style, and just kind of end up ruining a band. I'm all for band members starting their own solo projects to try out other stuff, because it's just, look at Metallica with Lulu. Okay, perfect example. That album they did with Lou Reed. Any of y'all even know about that? Oh, it's freaking horrible. But it's an actual thing. Metallica did an album with Lou Reed, and it's there's a different point I was trying to get to, and then I just blanked out.
I fucking love Lou Reed. For real, Lou Reed's awesome.
I don't know, man. Him, the Velvet Underground, I just couldn't get into that stuff.
I dig it. I don't know. Like, I've read some story that Lou Reed wrote about how like the first time the Velvet Underground came from New York out to California, right? It's the 60s. They like showed up to California and it was all like hippies taking acid. Like they had been taking acid in fucking New York City, right? But they get out there and it was like all hippies with flowers, and they were like leather jackets, fucking doing crank, and scared all the hippies, even though their music is still the Velvet Underground. What do you feel, Prophet? You like the Velvet Underground? Yeah. You feel like you'd be a Lou Reed rock and roll animal kind of guy? That's fucking killer.
You figured out exactly how Prophet has no idea what you're talking about, because he won't actually unmute himself and talk. He just shakes his head. He's like, nah. Just because you ain't got shit.
Well, that, and sometimes there's some noise going on in this house. Like my dog was just snoring a second ago. I swear to God. So, like, a lot of times when you got me muted, it's because there's a little bit of mayhem going on, if you could believe it.
Prophet, the fans love Roxy snoring. You gotta fucking hook us up with that shit.
Dude, I just slapped her to wake her up.
Like ASMR shit.
Look, she's so mad at me. Like, look at the look she's giving me. Like, yo, why'd you wake me up?
Like, I thought you wanted our channel to prosper. We need fucking more subscribers with the fucking Roxy snores.
Okay, I'll let her go back to sleep, dude.
That would be real adorable also.
And also, maybe if you could just put the camera her and stand off to the side.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just show us the guinea pig. I'll call it what it is. I'll call it what it is, and the dog.
I'll just set the camera up with them too. Let them run around the living room.
Well, that's what everyone really wanted.
Oh, dude, I could probably get 1 million views if I started putting that on my own YouTube channel for like a minute per video.
Dude, you're probably bang on correct. I
But,
see the stuff that my kids watch, and yeah. Like,
dude, I'm one of those idiots that would watch that video, to be honest with you. Like, I like 2 different types of animals that shouldn't be friends hanging out and doing shit. I'm always watching that.
Prophet's channel is just starting out. Is like first 3 videos have like 45 views each, and 37 of them are his. Checking him out again.
Yep.
Oh, there's my guinea pig.
There's my dog. Look, you're on TV.
Dude, the dog and the rodent always get along though, don't you? Have you ever watched fucking cartoons? Come on now, you've been programmed this way from birth.
And no big surprise, Painted Lady is all about the Tina Cam.
I gotta say,
yeah, you do a Tina Cam.
The stereotype comes from somewhere, man.
Well, it's like the natural enemy situation, you know. Basically, I think they were just going on the food chain, you know.
Yep. I thought that too, dude. I always thought my dog would fucking talk to the fish, like they would talk shit about the cats, you know, like the cats fucking.
Dude, my cat was vocal, my dog isn't, but I swear to God, all they had to do is, they obviously have a different way to communicate, like animals, because you just look at these two and the way that they're looking at each other and shit, you know they're scheming and you know they're communicating with each other, basically against me to give them something. But I would watch it go down and I'm like, I wonder how they communicate. I know they're fucking communicating. They're not saying a word. It's like just a lot of eye movement and shit like that, but it's the facial expressions. But dude, it's like they gotta be fucking communicating. Wait, worse, they're conspiring. They're fucking conspiring against me.
He's all very intent on whatever's going on in the chat there. You can see him.
I am, and I'm a little slow at the moment, so it takes me a minute to read everything.
I've been pretty absent from chat tonight. Sorry, everyone. Usually I'm pretty on the ball saying hello to everyone. I just I don't know. I just kind of wanted to have a little bit different feel of thing for tonight. It wasn't it's not a usual podcast show, I guess. But thank you all for coming and hanging out. I love talking music, so this is a great switch up. I'd like to be able to try and do that Headbongers Bowl show that we were doing a while back, get that back on track. But it's like when everybody's life seems to be steeped in chaos, trying to get everybody lined up to try and do that is pretty freaking hard to do, we're finding. But
yeah, this is like earlier today. Hey.
Yeah. Well, but you know, it'd be cool if we can get a hold of Steve and like see if we can at least do one like once a month. Even that would be fun. Just you know, get everyone together and we'll just talk about music. It'd be a great time to talk about that 80s metal that we were talking about earlier. Fluffy can show us his Draper underwears that he's probably got.
He's got fucking Grim Reaper
whiteies with their emblem across the ass. Fucking ass cracks all chewed out of him, of course.
All worn out, yep.
But he still wears them.
You're on mute, stupid.
You eat a dick, Prophet. I think it might be that time for me.
What are you smoking on, Fluffy? Now that we're fucking at the end of the show, you might as well tell us. What's got y'all giggles and shits?
Actually, you know what? I think it's actually the Hashing Got that. Yeah, it's fucking the Hashing Got that I grew from fucking Hypothetical. Yeah, man, it's straight like lemonade, dude. Like it really does remind me of like that Lemon Jeffrey, actually. So, fuck good shit. So we got that grow off going, you know, that not so competition, fuck off, your grow sucks thing, whatever.
Dude, fucking
like shit. Calls it.
You know,
it looks like shit right now.
You know,
dude,
so
we have so many CalMag deficiencies in this fucking group, man. You motherfuckers have no idea how to grow. I'm just saying.
I keep telling you to put it completely in the dark so that thing will reach for some light.
Right, man. So you're right. Some of you all need to stretch your plants out a little bit, you know. But, I mean, Every one of
Dude.
you need to invest in a bottle of CalMag. I'm just
They're
saying.
talking like this now, but when they post shit updates in Discord here, just for the viewers know, it's like everyone's trying to be so humble and act like they're not really trying, but it's clear that they are. Like, let's talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
somebody we know with straw in a fucking solo cup.
Wonder who
Oh
that
yeah,
could be.
bro. I shut down my fucking no-till bed for like the one I get all my fancy good pictures out of. You know, the one that is just dialed in and perfect. I shut it down to grow one goddamn auto in just to fuck with you guys. So yeah. There's we're all like, oh no, it's just this. We're not trying. Yeah, fuck you guys. I'm trying to win this shit.
I'm talking probably the most shit, and mine didn't even pop. That was White Widows that popped. I'm basically pushing her aside so I can get back into this.
You better get a hold of Hyde, get some more goddamn beans, and get them on your way. Because until you have a plant, you are not finished with this goddamn competition.
I told you, I'm just gonna muscle my way and take hers. I mean, I'm the one feeding it, for fuck's sake.
I wonder if the girlfriend will let me grow one in the tent. So, because like on the bright side, I should be home. I think tomorrow is Thursday. So if tomorrow is Thursday, that means I get to go home the next day. And there might be a tent at the house that I get to set up, just that little 3 by 20 by whatever. And like, I'm going to throw some freak show in there. And the idea is to get her comfortable with cannabis in the house, right? And then eventually maybe I can make the switch to other stuff. But maybe if one of Hype's seeds accidentally fell into a pot somewhere.
It could happen.
Did you guys see what the camera did right there? That was fucking perfect.
Yep.
It like zoomed in to
Did
get emphasis. Yeah.
Well, that's good because I want to grow a bunch of different stuff. I got some Hascap plants that are just tiny right now that I want to I'm bringing them indoors for the winter, right? So I'm gonna throw them in there. And I want to try and fuck with some strawberries, even though I've heard bad things about strawberries and spider mites. So I don't know if I actually want to try and chance in that. Those might just stay the fuck outside where they can stay the fuck outside, not bring spider mites in the house. But anyways, there's going to be at least a couple of freak shows in there. Because it's cannabis that doesn't look like cannabis, so it's somebody that looks in there.
Hey, Prophet, do you just like turn the TV up? Like when someone's talking so that it just keeps getting
louder.
You're muted now. It's all right.
That's so messed up because I had it down. I don't know how it went up.
Probably sitting on it.
As Caribou's trying to speak and act like there's nothing wrong, the TV just keeps screaming over the top of it. But it was actually getting really funny.
I actually was told in chat the other day that my TV was on too loud. I was like, oh shit, thanks. My bad.
Well, you see, the thing is, Prophet, you just shouldn't even have the TV going on when we're doing a show because you know damn well it's making background noise. So
I turn it down, man. I think it's sabotage.
And let's be honest, how many times if you ask him what we said 3 seconds ago in this show, he is not going to be able to tell you. And he's going to ask you about it or ask Chad about it fucking 10 minutes from now.
But you know what? That's true. But to be fair, the same applies to me because I'm usually sitting here doing something too. And
well, no, you'll show up for the show one day. It'll be fine. It'll be cool. You'll actually show up one day. It'll be cool.
I can't wait when Caribou shows up for his own show.
Well, it's probably not going to be this Friday, so I'll tell you that right now.
Caribou, we want to have you on as a guest.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Oh,
we'd like to spotlight you.
It'd be like a revisit to the first couple shows.
Fuck, I don't know if I want that.
Oh, come on.
All the spotlight.
You guys are ready to throw me on the train track.
You know what the fucking worst thing ever is? Is like when someone's talking and they're going to tell you something. I'll just use Rick as an example. However, I can't think of something where this has happened with that. But anyway, or me right now, takes forever to get somewhere. And then as soon as they say like only 2 words that I need to hear, that's when I lose them. Like that's when I'm like, oh wait, fuck, what did they just say? And then at that point, I don't want to ask. I feel like an idiot because it's like I'm a fucking idiot. I should have just listened to those last 2 words.
I hate when we have guests and I'll have like they'll be talking about something. I'll be like, oh shit, I want to ask. Wait, let them finish. And then they finish, and I'm like, oh, fuck, what was that I wanted to ask?
Well,
God damn it.
Or the conversation is kind of carried on to a bit different topic. And so you're just like, well, fuck.
Yeah, you don't want to swing
steer
it back.
to that now.
Yeah, I can't
Yep.
take it back to seahorses.
You
Fuck
know,
I've had that.
G-Bay bringing up some of the best times is when there's 2 empty caribou screens. he's taking up 2 squares that he's not in.
Well, there's a lot going on around me, and I'm trying to at least be on the show at least at one point in time or another.
you might walk by one camera or the other for the show.
Sometimes I even wave or I look into it too. But
I've
most of
seen
the time
that.
I just keep going.
He interacts. That's all we need.
Well, but like, to be fair, I work out of town a lot of the time, so I come home Friday night, right? And Friday shows are hard to do.
Yep.
Then you go out and do stuff. Sunday shows or sit there usually for a bit, but then people start getting up and there's stuff to start doing, and it's fucking heading out of town the next day.
Yep. No
Well,
one's
I get it, but it's so much funner to make fun of you about it.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fine. I don't mind. I deserve every little bit of it.
we don't want you to stop. We would just
I could take that. It's like, but the one that actually bothered me was last Friday's show being the 100th episode. It was like, but there was a lot going on. I was just getting into town about an hour and a half before the show, picking up my daughter as just about the time the show starts. It's the girlfriend's birthday. We're at the in-laws for dinner. And I just sat there with the Zoom meeting the whole time. I could hear it playing, but at the same time, it's on low so that people don't hear it over turkey dinner and stuff like that we're having. So I'm trying to at least be nice. And it was just stupid. I should have just checked out right off the beginning.
It's all right. Just think of it this way. If you laugh, then you're laughing with us.
Yeah.
We're just
and you never know, man. Something crazy might have happened that you might needed to fucking Zoom right away so you had witnesses.
Yeah.
And, you never know, man.
Well, that could happen.
Did you guys?
That could happen. Oh, yeah, that's. I probably shouldn't. I'll tell you guys about this later. I probably shouldn't talk about it live, but yeah, there's could be good reason for me to have fucking live Zooms going on.
Ironically, I was gonna tell a story too, but I'll tell you guys later.
No. Yeah. I gotta go, guys. I'm getting sleepy.
Yeah, I should probably go too. It's like 11 over here.
11. He'll be up in an hour, but so will I, so it's all right.
It's 8 o'clock here, but I guess I could probably find something to do sitting here in this hotel room.
Oh, geez, now you make me feel bad.
Yeah, well, you guys are abandoning me, so you should feel like assholes. But anyway,
well, but you have a man to sleep with behind you.
that's why I don't want you guys to leave.
I don't fucking have that, you lucky bastard.
I don't want you guys to leave me. That's why. No, he's actually a pretty good kid. He is. He's just a young guy, still fairly new to the company. Doesn't have a lot of chainsaw operating experience. And what we went into today was just like, holy shit! Like, it's literally like you can't move. Fucking in there, you're cutting everything out of your way. And he's never worked a chainsaw like that. So he was asleep by the time the podcast started yesterday. And we didn't work nearly as hard yesterday, so I imagine he's pretty good. But he's a pretty good kid. He's quiet, never complains, and when it's time to work and get down, he gets down. So
he just takes it in the ass like a man. Fucking
working him in easy. You know, I was gonna let it go, but
you said he was asleep, so I figured I could say it.
Dead asleep from what he's saying. He's like, yo, he's fucking out.
I think I hear him rolling around in the background now as you're saying that too. They're talking about me.
He rolls over onto his back now. He's gonna be sleeping on his back for the rest of the night.
Yeah,
I probably already would have. Yeah, he is moving.
I mean, you don't want to sleep on your back unless you use your fucking arm to cover your mouth, because he'll just start fucking teabagging you. So be careful, dude.
Oh, we should have
2 a.m. If at 2 a.m. you start feeling a thunk, 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 don't fucking open wide. I'll tell you
might
that.
as well just lock yourself in the bathroom right now. Sleep in the tub.
That is not opportunity knocking.
Yeah, that's why I sleep on my side or right on my face. No.
For direct access. Fantastic. Good
Oh,
job,
fuck you.
Gary.
Walked right into that.
That's why I put razor blades in my mouth when I go to sleep.
Fuck.
Fluffy, did you freeze? Oh, you did.
You did.
It was a
You
perfect place.
But the best part,
right after a bazinga.
Yep.
well, no, you kind of froze like you had cocksucker's cramps or something like that going on.
He froze again.
You did.
All right. I'll see you guys later. Thanks everybody in chat. Love you long time.
Later, bees.
Talk to you guys later.
All right. Love you, bees. Thanks
Love
for
you.
coming and hanging out. Fluff Prophet, thanks for hanging out and bullshitting about and swapping some Joey Jordison memories and whatnot. It's sad day in music today. Chat, thanks for hanging out as always. It's been a great time, and I guess I'm gonna throw some headphones on and I'm gonna jam out to some Slipknot and maybe a little bit of Murder Dolls for another hour or two before I go to bed. I hope everybody has a great night.
Absolutely. For an impromptu show about, just something that popped up, for nothing. We had a lot of regulars here. Thank you all for joining us. It was good having you. Hopefully we threw out some good times for you. Some good memories and whatnot. But thanks everybody for joining us.
Yeah, and actually, I want to apologize to Uncle Rick. I think I might have misled him. I sent him a message saying, "Hey, just a couple of us are going to jump on, and we're just doing a show about a drummer that just died, kind of." And he was trying to get in, and it was just like more of just if you were a fan of the band kind of thing was the mentality for it. So, Rick, I apologize, brother. I didn't mean to lead you on, and. But I sent you a text talking about that. I love you. Love all you. I'm going to go rock out. Hope you all have a great night. And we'll see you Friday, I guess, is the next show. Which, Prophet, you probably will be running that show. I'll just tell you that straight off the bat, early advanced. That's just, I'll try and make it, but just be forewarned.
You're all screwed now.
Yeah. So y'all better just dress sexy because
yeah,
Prophet says so.
That's it.
Fuck yeah, Supreme.
Fuck her up. All right.
Chat, love you.